Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Wealthy people respect employees and workers at all levels. Self-professed rich people don't. That's the difference. Let's start our video with a story about another Karen. My mom's best friend tells off a Karen, and Karen's husband divorces her over it. My mom's best friend, Donna, is a hairdresser. She does hair and makeup out of her home studio. She has clients ranging from millionaires and celebrities to normal people. She doesn't discriminate. She often is on sets for movies, commercials, and modeling shows. My mom would often go over when she had clients to act as a personal assistant, serving drinks, cleaning the house, etc., and travel with her whenever needed. Donna has always been grateful to my mom. She pays her very well when she works for her and even gives her free haircuts that she would normally charge over $200 for. She'll also lower her prices for people who don't have a lot of money. One day, my mom was there helping Donna, and Karen, who has a lot of money because her husband is a millionaire, came in for her weekly pampering. As soon as she walked in, she started trashing my mom's car. She drives a Kia. My mom just ignored her and carried on with her work. Karen continued to talk crap about my mom's car, saying that only poor people drive Kias. I would never be caught dead in such a cheap car. My mom continued to ignore Karen's insults. Mom offered her a drink, and Karen just scoffed, didn't answer her question, and said, "I'll only talk to Donna." Donna was already annoyed because Karen's comments about my mom's car and was getting more and more livid, but continued to cut her hair. Halfway through her haircut, my mom came to sweep up her hair. Karen looks at my mom and, addressing Donna, says, "Why do you hang out with poor people? It's really bad for your image when you're seen in public with your maid." Donna responded, "Maid? She's not my maid. She's..." Karen interrupts, "Maid, nanny, housekeeper, whatever she is, it's still bad for your image as such a high-class hairdresser to be seen with the help. And it doesn't help that she drives such a cheap car." Donna had enough. She stopped cutting her hair, slammed her scissors on the table, and started going off on Karen. Mom doesn't remember everything Donna said, but Karen went totally silent. After a few seconds of thought, Karen tries to defend her position, saying, "I'm just trying to give you advice. What will people think if they see you with a poor person? It ruins your professional image." Donna, now red in the face and completely enraged, began yelling at Karen again. "I don't give two F's how much money she has or doesn't have. She's my best friend and I love her like a sister." My mom teared up hearing this. Karen responds, "If you keep talking to me like this, I will never spend another dollar of my money with you." Donna responds, "I don't effing care how much money you spend with me. You will not disrespect my best friend in my house." Karen says to Donna, "Fine, just finish my haircut and I'll leave and never come back. You'll never get another dollar out of me." Donna says, "No, get the F out of my house. I'm not finishing crap. You can find someone else to finish your hair." Karen, in a shaky voice, says, "But I have a dinner party tonight with some friends. I can't find somebody of your quality and expertise to finish my hair before tonight." Donna says, "I don't effing care. Get out of my house and lose my number." Karen gets up, runs out of the house in tears, and slams the door. Donna looks at my mom and says, "I'm sorry, honey. She should not have treated you like that." Mom grins ear to ear with tears in her eyes and says, "Thank you for standing up for me like that." About an hour later, Karen's husband calls to ask what happened. He's very polite on the phone, and Donna tells him the whole story. He laughed and said Karen canceled the dinner party. He said he'd be by in the morning to give Donna some money for her trouble. He came by the next day. My mom was still there. He handed Donna the money, turns to my mom and hands her $100. He also informed them that he was going to file for divorce because he thought she was a better person, and that she isn't rich, he is. And our second story. Lady needs a discount. We've had a couple of people get cranky at us about prices before, but this lady was the first person to display the level of sheer bullheadedness. She came in around 1300, slowly lumbering through the bakery, picking up and squinting at every product she could get her acrylics on. Her sights finally set upon our decorated cookies. She asked how much they were, and I told her $4. The look on her face as she heard the price told me all I needed to know. This was about to be trouble. $4, she balked. That's ridiculous. I gave her the canned response we have about the fact that our ingredients are expensive because they're specialty. So it is what it is. She scoffed and rolled her eyes at me, and I just mentally thanked my insomnia for having kept me up late enough last night that I was too exhausted to feel the sort of rage that this crap would usually have set off. She scoured through the cookie display, digging about in scornful silence before suddenly her eyes lit up and she seized a single cookie from the back of the display, strutting up to the counter triumphantly and smacking it down before me. "This cookie is broken," she proclaimed, and she was right. There was a big crack running right through the middle of it. Not a big deal, it happens sometimes. "Oh, sorry about that," I said. Not actually sorry. "I can get you another one." "No," she barked, cutting me off. "I want this one," she said, pointing at the broken cookie the way one would point to something they were trying to show a toddler. "Okay then," I replied, and by this point I had a sneaking suspicion that I already knew exactly where this was going, but I pressed on anyways, as there was nothing else to be done. "That'll be $4. She stared at me for a moment, her eyes narrowing before she pointed to the cookie again. "I said I want this one," she repeated, even slower this time, really laying on the thick fact that she clearly thought I was some degree of stupid. "Yes, I know," I said, because what the hell else was I going to say? "But this one is broken," she stressed, raising an eyebrow at me. "As I said, I can get you another one, if you want, one that isn't broken," I replied, a bit of anger finally starting to break through the dull haze that exhaustion had put me under. "And I said I wanted this one," she said, clearly getting frustrated. "That makes two of us, B." "All right, that'll be $4. You can put your card—" She effing cut me off again. "I'm not paying $4 for a broken cookie," she snapped. "Okay then, I'll get you a different one," I droned. I knew damn well what she was getting at, but I wasn't about to make it easy on her. "No," she yelled, kinda getting up in my face at this point. "I want this cookie." She jabbed it so hard it would have made another crack if one hadn't been there already. "Okay," I said flatly, "I can take your card whenever you're ready." "How much are you taking off?" she demanded. By this point, I'd had more than enough of her, and since playing dumb was really the only weapon I had at my disposal that wouldn't have gotten me fired, I decided to continue using it. "I'm sorry?" I asked, pretending to be confused. She cut herself off that time, huffing, "The cookie. How much are you taking off the cookie?" "I haven't taken anything off," I answered. "It's $4. "But it's broken," she stressed for what felt like the 768th GD time. "Can I get some sort of discount?" "Unfortunately, no," I replied, very much not meaning that first word. "If it being broken is an issue, then we could get you an unbroken one, but I know you've said you want this one." "Is there someone else I could talk to?" she asked, her tone suddenly dripping with the faux politeness of a Karen about to try some crap. "A manager, perhaps?" She stressed the word, raising an eyebrow at me as she did. The attempt at a threat was so gallingly obvious that I just about gave myself an aneurysm trying not to roll my eyes. "My manager isn't in today, sorry," I responded, making sure to use that same sickly sweet tone that she'd tried on me. She dropped the act quickly, her fake smile melting into a snarl as she realized her trump card had no effect. "I'm not paying $4 for a cookie," she screeched. She didn't actually stomp her foot like a toddler, but the energy was very much the same. "Okay," I said flatly, then very pointedly didn't say anything else, even as she stared at me, clearly still somehow hoping for a different answer. We stood there for several more seconds. She glared at me. I stared blankly over her shoulder at the bakery behind with perhaps a bit over-the-top expression of utter indifference on my face. Finally, she seemed to realize I genuinely wasn't going to budge, and with one last ugh, she rolled her eyes, tossed up her hands, and stormed off. I put the broken cookie back on the toss tray where it was quickly snagged by one of our decorators. "Suck it, Karen." She was going to send herself to an early grave with all that unnecessary anger. And our next story.
You work for the government, right? I work in the HR team at a hospital in a major city. One day I get an email out of the blue from someone asking me if she can send me a dick note. I have a momentary giggle, then email back to ask if she can give me her employee ID because I can't find her name in our system. 5 minutes later, I get a call. "Lady, I sent you my sick note." Me: "You did, yes. However, I can't find your name on our employee list. Would you be able to confirm your employee ID, please?" Lady: "I don't work for you. That's the point." Me, confused: Then why are you calling the hospital HR team? Because I have a benefits assessment with the Department of Work and Pensions in a completely different city several hours away tomorrow, but I can't make it because I'm sick. Then you would need to get in touch with the assessment center. Nobody's answering. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm afraid I can't help you. This is hospital, not the DWP. But you work for the government, right? Yes. So you have to help me. You have to tell them. I'm very sorry, this is not the DWP, and I have no way to contact them. Lady, you effing B, put me through to them right now. I'm afraid I can't help you. You'll need to keep trying their number. She continued screaming at me until I put the phone down, then spammed my email account until I blocked her. Because I'm the government, and they're the government, so why wouldn't I do as she said?
And our last story. Fired in 2 weeks. I worked for 5 years as a federal contractor and eventually rose through the ranks through blood, sweat, and tears to a low-level supervisor. I managed a team of 13 working 2 federal contracts. Both contracts were new, and I was supposed to make them successful so the contracts would be renewed. This started right before COVID. Even before the crap hit the fan, my second contract was going badly. The agency flooded us with work, and my boss repeatedly refused to ask them to slow it down. That was literally his only job. As a result, late work began piling up and costing the company lots of money. We did our best to keep up, which in reality meant a ton of unpaid overtime for me. Then COVID hit, and things only got worse. My staff asked almost daily if there would be layoffs, and my boss's response to them was, "We don't know." To me, the answer was that my job was secure, but the others weren't. If the contract failed, he said, I'd have a place on another team. Obviously, the contract failed. My boss personally fired me and, unbeknownst to me, most of my team. I learned who was staying and who was going by talking with each of them personally. No one knew it was going to happen to them until it happened, and they were all shocked that I'd been fired as well. This was August 2020. Panic ensued. After firing me, my boss, who until that day I'd considered a very good friend, had the stones to call and ask me if I'd help him end the contract on a high note. I got fired 2 weeks before my official last day because that company's run by sadists. I told him I'd do my job. As a proud Slytherin, I immediately began doing everything I could, within the rules of course, to send my fired staff home in the best shape possible. We all knew our unused PTO would cash out, but sick time wouldn't. Everyone was sick those last 2 weeks, and my boss ended up doing most of the work himself. I also sent a ton of people to work from home with COVID-like symptoms so they could use their time to interview for jobs, etc. I was immediately hired by another federal contractor, and I brought my best former employee along with me. Since then, she and I poached about a dozen employees away from our former employer, who eventually threatened to sue her if she headhunted anyone else. I'm proud to say that our revenge-fueled efforts have taken so many of their good employees that the company's now openly failing and will soon go out of business. How the hell could you possibly end a failed contract on a high note? He got what he deserved. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.